Hello fellow Gothamites and welcome to the first episode of Let's Play Gotham City Chronicles. Today we are in the Arkham Asylum and the bat signal is shining through dark clouds. There is something going on and the Batman receives the following radio signal from the GCPD.
Batman, you're needed at Arkham Asylum, thanks to Victor's dash and Clayface, the worst of three from the cages. The facility is locked down, but the riot is full-blown. A handful of guards managed to survive the onslaught and are hiding out as best as they can, but I don't think they've got much time. If you can get in there and find them, they should be able to lend a hand. My men are on their way, but they won't be able to contain the spread without you. Please hurry, we cannot let these freaks claim more innocent lives.
With that, the Batman gathers his allies and arrives at the Arkham Asylum only to see that it is overrun by inmates that are running wild. The dangerous Victor Zash and the Joker are leading the riot. Or is it just Clayface in the form of the Joker? For this game, I will play in the side of the villains and my opponent shows the heroes. Since we don't have every available hero painted, my opponent has a limited choice of heroes, but that will not stop him to bring an end to this riot. First, let's take a look at the scenario description to see what the win conditions are. According to the map, the asylum is split into 6 sectors that are to be secured. The heroes win when they secure at least 5 of the 6 sectors after 6 rounds. To secure a sector, there have to be no enemy model in it and at least 1 hero model. Once secured, the heroes get reinforcement in form of an Arkham guard. The setup of the mission is already done and the miniatures are on the board. 3 heroes are trying to reach the objective. The heroes that my opponent chose are the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Harvey Bullock, and Nightwing. These are the villains that will be in the game. Victor Zash and Clayface Joker are on position 3 and 7. The rules for the event tile on position 5 are that the inmates are all in a delirium and once the tile is on position 1 it has to be triggered and the heroes can choose an area with inmates and can take control of them for 1 activation each. Also, the event tile will have no reinforcement this time, but the villains will get 3 automatic reinforcement points each round. Also, when an area is secured, the reinforcement marker will be removed and an Arkham guard will be placed instead. Harvey Bullock will then be able to take control of the Arkham guard. This is my control board for this game. The river is already set up. I will start with 8 cubes in my ready zone for the first turn. Now let's take a look at the heroes and how my opponent has equipped them. Let's start with Harvey Bullock. Due to his henchman command skill of 3, he will bring 3 Arkham guards to the game. Also, he has his trusted service revolver ready to defend himself. Next is Nightwing. He is equipped with 2 batons that he can use due to his M by dexterity skill. He is allowed to use bat gadgets, so he's equipped with an explosive battering, a guided battering and a tranquilizer dart. Last but not least, the legend himself, the Dark Knight Returns Batman. He is equipped with 4 bat gadgets, which are a taser gun, tear gas, a guided battering and another tranquilizer dart. Let's take a quick look at the 6 sectors that have to be secured. They are separated with different colors on the scenario sheet. And here are the starting positions of the heroes. Nightwing taking the left wing, Harvey Bullock and his guards taking the main entrance corridor and Batman taking the right wing. They have to fight all the way to the west, where Clayface is waiting in a cell. And Victor Zash, who is leading the attack on the main corridor. With the setup and briefing done, let's start game round 1 of 6. The scenario dictates who will start each round. The blue marker stands for the heroes, so now it's their turn. Starting with the upkeep phase for the heroes, every hero chooses the ready stance and recovers 2 action cubes to their ready zone. My opponent chooses Harvey Bullock to act first. He spends 2 action cubes for an automatic thought action to order his 2 Arkham guards and move. He also moves with them with his 3 movement points. He then spends 2 action cubes for a ranged attack action. His target is the Joker Gang Elite in front of him. He uses his service revolver for that attack and rolls the black dice from the weapon along with his yellow ranged attack dice. Bullock can reroll his yellow dice and scores 6 hits. With armor 2, the Joker gang member would suffer 4 wounds. That's too many for me to try to defend, so he is eliminated. Next is Nightwing. He spends 1 action cube for movement. With his free movement of 2 plus the action cube, he moves 3 areas. His target is the Crazy Inmate. He spends 1 action cube for a melee attack and rolls his dice, which he can all reroll. He gets 4 successes, and with his martial arts skill this makes 5 hits, which knocks the inmate out. Next is Batman. He spends 2 action cubes to get a total of 4 movement points for the first move to reach the Joker gang member. This is his target. He spends 2 action points for a melee attack using the taser gun. He rolls 2 red and an orange dice, getting only 3 successes. So he spends 1 cube to reroll one of the red dice and gets another success. With martial arts, this will bring him to 5 successes, which is enough to put the Joker gang member down. Now the Bat spends 1 action cube for a ranged attack. He uses the guided battering, which is 1 use only, to throw it at the prisoner here. The guided battering does 3 automatic successes. While rolling 2 additional successes with the orange ranged attack die, the prisoner is taken out. Only 1 enemy remaining at the right wing sector, so my opponent activates Harvey Bullock again and spends 2 action cubes to shoot that guy. He rolls 5 successes, which would be enough, and I decide that my brute is too important to lose and spend 2 of my cubes for defending with the orange dice. But both are showing blanks, so I lose the brute. With that guy eliminated, the first sector is secured. Removing the reinforcement token and replacing it with an Arkham guard. This concludes the first hero turn, and all spent action cubes are going to their fatigue zone. Now it's the villain turn. First, I return every spent cube to my fatigue zone, then I will recover 5 action cubes. Now I get 3 reinforcement points which I will spend on those 2 guys. The cost of each miniature are at the bottom right corner of my character tiles. Now I can put my reinforcements in areas containing the reinforcement tokens. These guys will show up here. Now let's spend some action cubes for the pain train. I choose to activate the brutes. They are on position 2, so I spend 2 action cubes. And after that, I put the tile at the end of the river, sliding the rest forward. I move the first brute to Bullock to attack him, but Bullock uses his protected skill to defend with an Arkham guard. The brute rolls 4 hits, and Bullock spends 2 dice to defend for the guard, cancelling 3 hits, which is enough to keep the guard alive. The next 2 brutes are just moving into position. I decide to activate a second tile. This time it will be Victor Zash. He is now in position 2, so I will spend 2 action cubes. and doing the same as with the brutes. Sash moves into Bullock's area. Some managers have different options for attacks. I choose the second option, which will give me 4 attacks with 2 yellow dice. I target the guards and roll 3 hits for the first attack, killing the guard. 2 hits for the second attack, also killing the guard, leaving Bullock alone. The third attack misses, and the fourth attack causing 1 wound to Bullock. This concludes the first round, now on to the second. The heroes choosing their stances for this round. Bullock chooses to rest, recovering 5 cubes but cannot do any actions this turn. Nightwing and Batman are choosing to be ready, recovering 2 action cubes each. Batman starts, spends 1 action cube, and moves 3 areas to Victor's Sash, declaring him as a target of a melee attack, and spending 4 red dice. No mercy for you, psychopath. With a taser gun, Batman rolls 4 reds and an orange for 7 hits. Since Bullock grants support rerolls, Batman rerolls the orange die. Now, Sash uses his misfortune skill to force Batman to reroll 2 dice of my choosing, bringing him down to 5. Now I decide to defend with 2 cubes, cancelling another 4 hits. That's not even a wound for Sash. Now Nightwing activates for a move and a melee attack with his 2 batons. He rolls 2 successes and chooses to re-roll. With martial arts, that's 3 hits. I defend with 1 cube and successfully defend the attack. Nightwing does the same again, this time with 4 hits, which will take the brute out. Then he chooses to move again, declaring a melee attack against the brute. With the rerolls from his weapons and Bullock's support, he rolls and scores 5 hits that take the brute out. Now he uses his combo skill to make a free attack against the Sash. That would be 3 hits, but my opponent chooses to reroll. And that's not enough to hurt him. Back to the villain's turn. Let's start with upkeep and then reinforcements. I choose 1 Joker gang member and 1 crazy inmate. I activate the crazy inmates for 1 cube and move them in a way that they will be spread out a bit more to make it harder for the heroes to get them off the board too easily. I don't want to activate the second tile, so it is hero's turn 3 now. Harvey Bullock chooses ready. Nightwing chooses ready. And Batman needs to rest. He's old after all. The clock is ticking for the heroes and only one sector is secured. Bullock chooses to get rid of Zash once and for all and prepares a massive shooting attack with his service revolver at point blank range. Five hits so far, rerolling with his inbuilt reroll. And luck. Dodon. Luckily, he has luck 2 for the black die. That looks better. Zash chooses those 2 dice for the misfortune reroll. Now another reroll due to the free point blank reroll. Only 5 hits. The second point blank reroll. Only 4 hits. I defend with 1 cube. And Zash suffers 1 wound. Now Bullock orders his guards to move and support him in melee. The guards roll 4 hits due to their inbuilt reroll. Again, I try to defend with 1 cube. And another 2 wounds for Zash. Now it's Nightwing, trying to give Zash the rest. With his rerolls and martial artists, only 3 hits. But Bullock grants another reroll for 5 hits. Again, I force Nightwing to reroll 2 dice because of misfortune. For 4 hits. I try to defend this again. And succeed. Zash turns out to be a huge pain in the neck for the heroes. Nightwing has to spend another action cube to attack a second time for 5 hits. I force another misfortune reroll. But with Bullock's support reroll, it's 5 hits again. So that's the end for Brave Victor Zash, distracting the heroes for 2 turns. Maybe this would be critical. Back to my turn and upkeep and reinforcements. A new Joker gang member enters the scene. Here. I activate the prisoners. For 1. And spread them out as best as I could. Now the event triggers and the scenario special rule activates. The delirium of the inmates kicks in, which means the heroes can choose an area and activate all characters of the villain in that area. The heroes choose this area and move the crazy inmate and attack one of the prisoners. They roll 2 white dice with rerolls for 2 hits, killing the prisoner. Now I decide to dredge the river and get rid of neutralized tiles at the cost of 2 cubes that will be removed from the game entirely. I choose Zash, since I cannot bring him back into the game. That was my turn, and we go into game round 4. And still only 1 sector secured so far. Harvey needs to rest after the fight against Zash. But Nightwing is ready, as well as Batman. Nightwing spends action cubes to move and runs past the prisoner. Now I realize I did an error in my last turn where I left one sector empty, so Nightwing claims the second sector for the heroes, replacing another reinforcement token with a new Arkham guard. Now Batman activates for movement to take out a crazy inmate in the next sector. He spends one cube for a melee attack and pounds him into the ground for 4 hits. Now he uses his tranquilizer dart in a ranged attack to successfully take out the next crazy inmate with 3 hits. He then uses another ranged attack to throw a tear gas grenade into this area. The gas causes 1 automatic wound, taking out the Joker gang member. Now it's my turn again with upkeep and reinforcements. It's time for some more crazy inmates and Joker gang members. I activate the Joker gang for 1 cube to be a bit more offensive again. I spent a cube for movement to be in range of Bullock, firing at Bullock and re-rolling the yellow die, causing 1 wound to Bullock. Bullock has the retaliate special rule and can shoot back immediately for 2 blanks, but re-rolling with luck for 2 hits and spending a cube for another reroll. That's not enough to penetrate the Joker gang member's armor. The Joker gang member can shoot twice and the second shot goes into the Arkham guard since I don't want to trigger Harvey's retaliate skill again. 2 hits will be enough to kill the guard, but Harvey decides to defend for the guard. And keeping him alive. I move the second Joker gang member and the third tries to take down the bat. He shoots with rerolls for 1 hit. But Batman's armor protects him. The second shot scores 2 hits. But again, Batman's armor protects him. Then I move the Joker gang member to safety. For my second activation, I pay 3 cubes for the crazy inmates. And they just want to play hide and seek with the Dark Knight. To make it harder for him to catch them. Now to game round 5. Harvey chooses to be ready. Nightwing is again ready. And Old Man Bat needs another rest. The tear gas dissipates but is still in effect for this turn. And now Nightwing wants to secure the next sector on its own. He moves into position and declares a ranged attack. 1 action cube for the explosive batarang. That completely annihilates the Joker gang member. Nightwing does another ranged attack with the guided batarang. Five hits are enough to send the crazy inmate to sleep. No villain character present in this sector anymore. Nightwing secures this sector successfully. Now Bullock moves. He orders an Arkham guard to follow and attack. The guard rolls 3 hits and takes out the inmate. Only 1 inmate left in this sector, so Harvey wants to do the job himself, spending 1 cube for a ranged attack. He has 2 rerolls for the black die, due to luck. But it seems the luck left him. Also the reroll for the yellow die is not successful. He has to spend another cube for a ranged attack. This time causing 5 hits to take out the last crazy inmate. Harvey secures the 4th sector for the heroes. This was a big turn for my opponent. Now it seems we will have a final showdown in the last turn. Only 2 sectors remaining. Which sector will be the target for the heroes? The sector with Clayface or the almost overrun sector? Let's see. It's my turn again, and it starts with upkeep and reinforcements. I choose to defend both sectors and send some guys in. Then I activate my prisoners for 3 cubes. Their job is to defend the Clayface sector and move there. I also spend action cubes for movement to do this. The last prisoner wants to attack the Arkham guard, but fails. I want to save some cubes for defending for the last game round, and we go into the final game round 6. The tear gas dissipates completely. There is no time to rest anymore, so all heroes are ready. The heroes decide to secure the Clayface sector, and Harvey activates to shoot the prisoners that are in the way. Six hits against the first round, taking him out. Harvey doesn't want to play anymore. The second shooting attack. Also 5 hits. It seems Harvey will be the MVP for this game. Then he spends his last cubes to move to the cell where Clayface waits for the grand finale. But first, Nightwing has to get rid of the last 2 goons in this sector. He moves. And now it's important that he takes out these guys. He attacks the first one for 4 hits. I have to defend with 2 cubes and are successful. Nightwing tries it again. With his last cube, the hand of my opponent shakes. But Nightwing whiffs the roll and uses his rerolls. Only 3 hits. I spent my last 2 defending slots for this and are successful in keeping my guys alive. The situation is dire and only Batman can save us now. He has to take down Clayface and the goons with his remaining dice. Can he do it? First, he spends 3 cubes to move 5 areas into the Clayface area. The fight can begin. I have no cubes for defending anymore. Batman needs 10 hits to take Clayface down in a single attack. He spends 3 cubes for this. Only 6 hits. He spends a cube for a reroll. For a total of 8 hits, still not enough. He uses his overexertion skill to reroll more dice for a cost of wounds. With no success. He overexerts even more for more rerolls, but got only 8 hits. This won't bring Clayface down, and the heroes fail to secure this area. The villains succeed with their riot and win the game. It was very close and came down to the last actions and critical dice rolls. Most scenarios are tough to win for the heroes, but I think this is meant to be and should be a challenge. We also switch roles for most scenarios to see who is better at solving the riddle that each scenario creates for the heroes. The pressure is high and every action is important. That's what I like most about this game. There are no meaningless combats or decisions, everything is important and time is your greatest enemy. Thanks for watching everyone, it was great fun for us to play and film the game. If you had fun too, keep a like and maybe comment on which scenario we should play next. There's also new content coming for the Batman miniatures game. So stay tuned for that and we will see each other again when there is yet another shadow over Gotham.